Hey guys, it's been a while. I just graduated my oldest son, and I don't think I've made a video in like a year. So that's crazy. Last night I was talking to my husband on the couch and he was like, have you made any homeschool videos lately? And I was like, no, I haven't. And I'm like, I don't even know, do I have anything left to like say on it? But I actually think I do. And so I thought I would come back and tell you guys about our last year and give you our like curriculum hits and misses and my kids, the books that they read, what they liked, give you a little rating breakdown and see how it goes. So I don't know if there's anyone still here that watched me in the past, but if you are, welcome back. And if you're new and just looking for curriculum ideas, I'm going to give you a run through of some hits and misses, what my kids took, and it should be fun. Some of the books I've already consigned for the year. This is so weird. Like I'm getting to the place where like I said, my son just graduated and my daughter just finished 9th grade. So I'm finally starting to like get rid of things that I'm never going to teach again. It's such a weird place to be in. I've been homeschooling since my son started 6th grade and my daughter was going into 3rd. So like I turned in our chemistry book for resale and I'm like, I never have to teach that again. And like geometry and American history. So it's sort of weird. But some of the subjects I was glad to pass on, to be honest. But some of them, I kept on to one of our government books because I was just like, oh, I love this book. It's so good. Even though we won't need it again. So sort of an interesting season to be moving into. But I will start out with my son. A few of the things he used this year. He was a senior. He only needed 3 credits this year. English, computer science, and music, which he plays guitar, so he really didn't need much. But I have a couple things that he used, and I'm gonna show them to you, things that we really liked. For English this year, he actually took it at co-op, sort of, and I called it Brett Lit, and they did Shakespeare all year. So it was really cool. The book that we used was the Usborne Complete Shakespeare. Highly, highly, highly recommend. So good. It's stories from all the plays, and there are some pictures, but it has like the plays, and they're in pretty much modern English, and they went through most of the plays in this book. So it was a really great overview of Shakespeare, and he loved it. I was surprised. He absolutely loved this class that he took at co-op. Loved the book. I think I might teach it at their co-op next year. We'll see. But he loved it. We loved it. It was great. The teacher, how she did it, if you're looking for suggestions, she would have them read the play, and then she would ask them like, who was their favorite character and why? And then she would ask like, what was the theme of the play? And then they would meet in class and discuss their answers. And so it was really simple for our senior year. I mean, you know, they've done so much English. So that was pretty cool, and he loved it. Highly, highly recommend. And then for his grammar, just for brush ups, he did Life of Fred, Language Arts Series, which we've done with him many times. It's 4 books, just a grammar brush up. And for him, they're fantastic. You can get through them probably. We got through all 4 this year. You could probably even go through them more than once. It doesn't matter. We just start over when we're done. But really good. Highly recommend. And I think, let me look if there's anything else I know one other book that he read. Okay. The other book he read was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. That was just an extra that I thought he would like. And he did like it a lot. So that was super fun. And he did that and gave me a book report. So he's written essays and all that stuff. And so this year I was just like, we're just gonna have some fun. So those were big, big hits for him. And then for computer science, he did this guy, and it says middle school, but it doesn't matter. It's the everything you need to know about computer science and coding in one big fat notebook. He went through this and did a couple every week. And then he also did some of the Khan Academy. They have a computer science class, and it also has programming. And he did some Tinker, which we thought was okay. He didn't love the Tinker, but he loved the Khan Academy. So we did that, and that was how he got his computer science and coding credit for high school. And then for his music theory / music appreciation, He took music appreciation at co-op and it was fantastic. I cannot tell you what they did. It was like handouts. She was a great teacher. He loved it. And then at home, he does like, he writes music, he plays a guitar, he does performances and stuff like that. So that was pretty much his year. It was great. And my child is so glad to be graduated, so glad to not have any more schoolwork. I'm super glad to not have to assign him any more work. I love my kids. I love homeschooling them, but he was ready to be done. So it was really good. I'll move over to my daughter because she has obviously a lot more because she was only in 9th grade. And let me start off with, I'm looking, I'll tell you what she, okay, some of these books I don't have, but she did geometry and she used, what's it called? Matthew-C. She used Matthew-C. Loved it. We used it for Algebra 1, loved it, and then we used it for geometry, loved it. We'll use it again for Algebra 2, and we just get like the book, and then she doesn't even really watch the DVDs, although we do get them. She just reads the lesson in the book, and then we always do it. There's like lots of worksheets with Matthew-C for the upper levels, so usually they have like worksheet A, B, C, D, I think E, and then honors lessons. So what we would normally do is like A and B is like A is the new material, B is the new material, C is a review, like a spiral review, and then we do the test. So normally we'll do like on day 1, we'll do the lesson and she'll watch it, read it, and she'll do worksheet A, and then she'll do worksheet B, which covers the new material, both of those worksheets. And then like she'll do worksheet C, which is the spiral view plus the new, and then she'll do the test. That's how we did it. Because of co-op, she usually would do math 4 days a week. And she finished it early. We went through some of the honors lessons, and she took like logic at co-op, so I added the logic to her geometry to make it honors. And that's how we did it, and we loved it. We will definitely use it, like I said, for Algebra 2 next year. Highly recommend. I think it would serve lots of different kinds of kids. I feel like some math programs aren't really good for all kids. And I'm not saying Matthew-C would be great for all kids, but it would have done just fine for both of my children. And they're pretty different in the way that they think about math. They're both good in math, but different ways of like doing it, and it would have worked great for both of them. So I do highly recommend it. I don't know what we'll do. She doesn't want to do pre-calculus, but I think we will. I kind of think she'll need it. I don't know if we'll use Matthew-C or if we will use like Shorman or something else, because that is the level of math that I'm not going to be able to help her with. So we shall see about that. But so that was geometry. For English, she did The Good and the Beautiful, High School 2, I think. And I don't have it. It's, it's consumable. And then we already turned our books in to the Homeschool resale shop. But she did like it. She does not love their books. They're not her favorite books. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're not her favorite, but the grammar is fantastic. The art she likes. She likes all of that. Even the essays she doesn't mind, the insight journals. So it's a great program, but she found all of the books pretty boring. So that's our take on The Good and the Beautiful. She did American history, and we used Beautiful Feet. I think it was called it was grades 7 through 9. So it was their early American history. And I already turned all those books in. Loved it. Loved it. We did not do all of the books. We pared a lot of it down. We skipped some of them. It was just way too much, in my opinion. So we used the spine. It was like George Washington's world, Abraham Lincoln's world, the world of Captain John Smith, like Genevieve Foster books. And then it was like a lot of other Pocahontas. I have them all. I'll tell you about them later because I'm going to go through literature. But all in all, it was a great course. I did a lot of different, I did not follow it. The teacher guide was a lot. It was so much. We would have never done it all. A lot of times I would give her some of the readings and have her write me a narration. And that's what we did. And it worked out fantastic. In fact, I was going to show you when she would give me a narration. We got this little book. I'll link it. It's called the History Notebook, and it has a place for I think I pulled everything out. I did. I already pulled hers out to put it away. But it has a place to draw and then write. And it's by School Nest. And you can see, we used quite a bit of it. So I tore it out and put it in her portfolio for to save for the year. So loved that too. So Beautiful Feet, American History, the early American history. We loved it. It was fantastic. The books were great, and I'll tell you about them later. And then for chemistry, she did the Berean Builders chemistry. I don't have the book. I already sold it. It was good. She did fine. It was rigorous and mostly math. That's really all I have to tell you. Like, I like Jay Weil. Yeah, I really like him. I think he does a really good job with physical science and all of that. And it was good. She fully got her credit. It could probably be an honors. But the math, it was just math. It was so much math, and it was almost all math the whole book through. So it was sad that I feel like it could have been more interesting. There's so many interesting things about chemistry, like about the actual elements, and it really didn't get into any of that, which I understand. Like, they're trying to give them what they would need, I guess, for like college, but like there's so many interesting things about the elements and the periodic table, and it was just like, here's equations, here's equations, here's equations, and so it's kind of disappointing, honestly. But she did fine. She didn't love it, and I feel like she could have liked it more. I would recommend, like, going, if I could do it over, I would probably have picked Sabbath Mood, their chemistry, and spread it over 1 year, condensed it. But we did also, she didn't really get to get into this book. We've used this with my son for chemistry as part of, so good. This is great, and it's interesting, and we really didn't even have time to get through it, so I might have her give a looks into it next year. But I feel like you could almost just do this book for chemistry and do a little bit of math. But we didn't get to use it with her as much. She did get through it a little bit. But I highly recommend this and the Berean Builders chemistry. I mean, it was good. It would be comparable to Apologia or any of the other ones, I'm sure. It was just boring. So the lab kit was great. We did that. And let me see what else. Hold on just a sec. Okay, just a couple more. Spanish 2. She did BJU Press, their online option. The teaching's all online, and the Homeschool Hub thing. And she has a book and a bunch of, like, a workbook to go along with it. Highly recommend. It was fantastic. It's our second year using the BJU Press Spanish program, and it was really good. We're not going to do Spanish 3. It's too expensive. It's like $400, which I know some people pay that for classes, but like, I think we got Spanish 1 and 2, like their online program, for like $115. So what, Spanish 3 is $400? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I think we're going to use, if you're interested, we're going to use Easy Peasy has a free Spanish 3 program, because I really just want her to keep going with it. I'm not particularly concerned like how much more she learns, but I just don't want her to forget. So when she goes to college, you know, she will still have some of that knowledge retained. So we're going to use Easy Peasy. They do have a Spanish 3. It is free. It looks pretty good, just to keep her brushed up next year. So, but I did really highly recommend the BJU Press. They're one that's online, basically, and they send you the book and the workbook and like a dictionary. Such a good deal. I mean, I don't know if they've raised the price, but it's really good. We used it for 1 and 2. She also took, I'm looking, Culinary Arts at Co-op. That was really great. I don't have anything to show you for it. She got her PE credit at home this year. It was fine. And I was talking about not being able to give up one of our government books. And it was this one, What is the Constitution? In my state, we have to do a Constitution unit in addition to American government. And so we used this book with my son and again with my daughter. Bookshark had a free little 2-week thing, and I had printed it out and saved it. I don't think they offer it anymore to go along with the book, but this is a great little book if you have a kid, even in high school, needing that Constitution unit. It's fantastic, and I was like, I just don't want to get rid of it. But highly recommend this as well. So that kind of, I think I went through everything they did this year. So I'll quickly tell you, I already told you my son, what he read, his literature. I'll tell you the plays that he did that were in this that I showed earlier. The Usborne Complete Shakespeare. This is not every play in the book, but it is all but like 3 of them. They did A Midsummer Night's Dream. He gave it 5 stars. Twelfth Night, he gave it 5 stars. Romeo and Juliet, he gave it 3 stars. Coriolanus, 3.5 stars. Love's Labor's Lost, he gave it 5 stars. Richard II, 4 stars. Much Ado About Nothing, 4.5. The Merchant of Venice, he said 4 stars. Hamlet, 4 stars. As You Like It, 5 stars. Henry IV, 4 stars. Julius Caesar, 3.5. Othello, 3 stars. The Merry Wives of Windsor, 5 stars. Macbeth, 4 stars. The Winter's Tale, 4.5 stars. Anthony and Cleopatra, he gave it 4 stars. The Taming of the Shrew, 5. Henry V, 5 stars. Pericles, 3.5. The Comedy of Errors, he gave it 5 stars. Richard III, 4 stars. And The Tempest, 5 stars. And then the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, he gave it 4.5. So that was his literature. Like, it's crazy. You think, oh, this just looks like a kid's book. This most of the place. And I mean, they might be slightly shortened, abridged, but they are learning. Like, that is so cool to me. So loved it, highly recommend. So that was his literature for the year, and it was all in just that book mostly, except for the other Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. So that was his literature. And my daughter, I'll run through hers really quick. A lot of her literature was from Beautiful Feet for that early American history, and I'll tell you, all of the first ones I'm about to tell you are from the Beautiful Feet, and we didn't read all of the books, so the ones I'm reading are the ones that we read. Peacemaker by Joseph Bruchac, she gave it 4 stars. The World Made New, don't remember the author, 3.5. Captain John Smith's World, 3.5. George Washington's World, 3.5. Pocahontas, 4 stars. Almost Home, 3 stars. Black Heroes of the American Revolution, 3.5. Sophie's War, 4.5. What is the Constitution, which I showed you, she gave that 4.5. And Of Courage Undaunted, 3.5. And like I said, there were so many books we did not get to. Fever, oh gosh, The Kidnapped Prince, Ain't I a Woman, Phyllis Wheatley, didn't get to that one. Oh man, there are quite a few that we didn't get to, but yeah, she loved Sophia's War, 4.5 she gave it. And I remember her talking about how much she really enjoyed that in Pocahontas. So those were the ones from Beautiful Feet books from the American history. And then her literature, like I told you, from The Good and the Beautiful, Just David, 2.5. Into the Unknown, 3.5. Up from Slavery, a 4, which we have a winner there. John Greenleaf Whittier, 3 stars. She read Heartless Hunter just for fun. That was not that was not from Good and the Beautiful. She gave that 4.5. Patterns on the Wall, another Good and the Beautiful book. She gave that 2. She said it was just not good at all. And The Little Prince, which was not from the Good and the Beautiful, she gave that 4 stars. So that was their literature. And that was our year, y'all. I graduated a kid. What in the world? And I will do it all over again in like 3 more years. I can't believe it. I'll probably try to hop on and give you some of our picks for next year. My daughter's going to do like ancient history for her world history credit. I can tell you that. And we're going to use A Gentle Feast, sort of. We've used her stuff before. It's kind of a Charlotte Mason sort of a style. I love it. What's her name? Julie, I can't remember her name. It'll come to me. But she's great. And she actually lives kind of close to me. So anyway, we're going to use A Gentle Feast for some history and some of our English for my daughter next year. And we're going to adapt it so that she can pull 1 credit for world history. And I can show you that if you're interested. And I'll show you some of our other stuff that we picked up. But I did want to check in and say, I'm still here. We finished strong. My son graduated. It was so cool. And it was wonderful. So yeah, you can do it too. Some of y'all that are watching probably already have graduated kids, so it's pretty crazy. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will talk with you later. Bye.